We're living in the golden era of information and technology in one of the most affluent countries in the world. And our health has never been worse. We're losing our most precious resources, our health and vitality, to chronic disease. That's why we're fighting back with a team of healthcare professionals living and working in Eastern Washington to create an individualized and holistic approach to reclaiming health. It's time to invest in our future with the Inspirement plan.
I can add anywhere from 30 to probably 60 extra pounds when we're wearing our bunker gear and all the tools that we might keep in our pockets and or carry on a fire. So I'll be wearing my vest and using a sandbag, which will be a total of 60 pounds. And that's meant to mimic the turnout gear and allow me to work hard with that extra weight on and then recover. I came to a point in my life where I was tired of feeling tired, and not in a, I worked out really hard or I didn't get a good night's sleep tired, but tired emotionally of what felt like a constant battle to be myself and for that to be okay.
Interesting thing, during the workout, we're telling him how awesome he was doing, how great he was, and in his head he was like, oh, I'm doing terrible, there's no way I'm gonna be able to finish this, and had a lot of negative speech.
The saying that perception is reality is very true, even if it's your own perception of yourself.
The first video came out, which was really cool, because Jamie has a hard time remembering where he came from.
Just getting off the tennis court and things are feeling stronger.
So he's always in the here and now. I'm in the here and now, and this is what I look like today, and I'm not satisfied.
So halfway point, and I feel like I might have lost a little bit of focus.
So seeing that first video of where he was laying in bed with a sore ankle, not being able to play tennis because every time he plays tennis, he breaks himself.
I think it's time to maybe recommit, because the whole point was to be able to come out here and run around. And I'm seeing that actually happen.
So the question of internal dialogue, the first thing that comes to mind is when I was in my internship. It's already emotional. Do I want to start with that? Where is this coming from? I was miserable. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
I had a prior experience with having to call 911 for an emergency, and having two people that I currently work with be on the crew that came, and the way they treated us was amazing, and really was kind of that first spark that made me feel like that would be where I could do real work and make a real difference.
That he wasn't able to write, that he wasn't able to be creative, that he was just stuck in this really dark place.
I don't think I logged any food in my app this weekend, so that's not great.
I had created for myself that I hated it, and I had all the signs of major depression, and that was not unique to me. We all did. And I remember there was a senior resident that pulled me aside once after I had just gotten sort of a poor review based on attitude. And he said, you need to like what you're doing and you have control over that. And then I took that and I contemplated it over a weekend, and I decided to myself I was gonna like it. And I came back to work that Monday, completely transformed. I now saw things as challenges to accomplish versus things that I had to do.
And he's been working on this project for the city of Leavenworth, which is a big deal for him. He had talked about it last week. He was stressing about it a little bit. He hammered down over the weekend, which means he kind of let up on some nutrition things that he maybe stressed him out a little bit. But in the overall picture, it was probably a good swap.
But now, instead of it happening to me, I was happening to it, so to speak.
I don't believe that life happens to you. I think that you go out and make the life that you have. And I refused to be a victim to my circumstance and quit.
When we go back to his first interview, that was one of his #1 priorities, was to be able to have that spark again. And he was giddy with excitement, showing us the project that he laid out for. He nailed it. He blew it out of the ballpark. And the smile on his face was priceless.
Like, my internship was the hardest thing I ever did. And I got through it. And after that, I knew I could go through anything. And so when I'm faced with another challenge, I know I can do it because I've done it before.
The driving force behind that is the kids and my family. How can I tell any of them to go out and follow their dreams and to make change and to do the difficult things if I'm not willing to do those things?
So when he came in today, he was ready to go. He was ready to take on today's workout, which was very challenging. It was his maximal dose for that MAP 7 work. So he's been working in these 10-minute time domains, 10-minute on the flywheel bike, 10-minute mixed modal work, which we just introduced a little while ago. It's been really exciting. He just killed all his numbers. He's definitely ready to move on to MAP 6 work, which will be 5-minute intervals, where we're going from working on a 40-minute race pace to working on a 20-minute race pace, which for him, for his aerobic power, is gonna be awesome. And so that was huge to see him today. It was a big day.
We created the Inspirement plan with a very specific intention. We have a nation, let's start there, that is facing a tsunami of chronic disease. And in my current job, I see the end of it. I see the broken people. And through my experiences prior with my knowledge base in physical culture and exercise and nutrition and lifestyle, I thought, why am I not doing anything about it? I don't want to be on the end where I just catch the broken people. I want to go around the corner and tell them to slow down before they crash.
So I knew I wanted to pursue being a firefighter. I knew I wanted to make it my career. I planned on it taking a long time, and this opportunity to be a resident came up. And when I applied for it, had a really great conversation with the chief, and his, comment to me was that he would help me in any way he could as far as preparing me for interviews and testing and anything that I reached out for help with. So that was really encouraging. And so I started this residency program, not really fully understanding, but ready to put the work in. And so it turned into 4 days a week, 12-hour days a lot of times, falling asleep in my textbook. I got up early and my kids saw me early in the morning and they saw me late at night, and they didn't necessarily understand what was going on and why I was doing what I was doing. Knowing that it was temporary and something that I just had to push through was really important to me, to really let myself become fully who I am as a person, which is really wanting to serve.
And so we created the Inspirement plan to showcase a process in which people can course correct, to slow down, to live mindfully, and avoid the pitfalls of chronic disease.
Hey there, it is September 1st. I am over in the Seattle area.
He's very kind of self-depreciating when it comes to recognizing the wins that he's having.
What's happening today is that I thought that I would try for the month of September to go completely dry.
He's also at this sticking point where he's kind of starting to sabotage himself.
So I feel like the alcohol is the thing that's maybe slowing me down here.
He's taking something out of his life or his daily actions that is a stimulus.
And then the Inspirement team said, hey, we'll do that with you. And I thought, oh God.
So you have to fill that void somehow. And we're doing that with his workouts. So it was perfect. He chose to do it at a really good time because of that overload on his central nervous system that's going to happen with these more dynamic workouts and heavier loads.
So now I'm in. I'm going to be drinking a lot of this for the month.
So Jamie's going to start to get into more weight-bearing movement, which means he's going to start stressing his body in a different way, and your central nervous system overloads because it's trying to recruit, right, more of everything to lift. So we adapt differently to different stressors.
But there's a flip side to it. I mean, I know that I drink alcohol for a reason. I do it to calm down in many cases, to shut down at the end of the day after work.
So the other great thing about his timing is that he's going to feel recovered because he's going to sleep better, because he's not drinking. His body's not gonna be as inflamed. He's not gonna be going through these weird like wake up withdrawals, which is just what happens whether you have 1 drink or 20 drinks, you wake up because your body goes through that detox. So he's gonna be more rested. He's gonna recover faster because of it.
That means I'm gonna have to come up with other stuff during the month. Fortunately, I think the team has some great ideas, so we're gonna try some different things. That's the whole point of this.
So I wanna see that cycle happen with Jamie where he's sleeping better, he's coming in rested, he's working out harder, he's taxing himself a little bit more, and then he's seeing more results from it. And you want to work out because you feel better.
Here's to dry September. Cheers.
It's time to not worry about hurt feelings or ego. And I'm gonna be the person to tell him, yeah, and just let Jamie know that to keep going and see the results that he told us he wanted, he's gonna have to make some more drastic changes and dial some things in, and it's not gonna be easy. So it's gonna go from kind of a physical challenge to a mental challenge and really a willpower type of thing. Jamie likes to come in and act like he can't do what I'm asking him to do. So we always start with a 10-minute bite. I told him what he got last time, and I told him his goal was to beat it, even if it was by just 1 calorie. And he beat it by 10, which means every time he's done an assessment, he's increased by 10 calories, which is pretty significant. When I asked him how it felt, he's like, oh, all right. Jamie's not very good at celebrating his successes, and so I'm gonna celebrate a little bit for him. So he went shopping last weekend and bought pants that were 2 sizes smaller. And so that's a huge thing. We talked about recovery today. The difference in him being able to do tennis 3 times a week instead of once and not be hobbling down the stairs the next day. Those things are really important. Today we moved into what we call dynamic or ballistic movements. So we did his retest, he killed it. He did 3 dips. He didn't think he could do 3 dips. I hugged him. I might have caught him off guard. So then we moved into the snatch, so Olympic lifts and the Bergner warm-up, and went through with the PVC pipe. He's very natural at movement. I don't know if easier is the right word, but it makes it really fun when somebody just naturally does the movement. It also makes me really jealous. Not everybody can do that. Some people have to work really hard at those dynamic multi-joint movements. Like, they're really technical. So he's going from working his muscles to working his tendons, right, with those explosive movements. This project in particular, working with Jamie, you know, Ben and I have been training him, but the community that the members have created is the reason this is happening. It wouldn't be happening if they didn't come and they didn't support each other and they didn't reach out to one another and ask when Jamie is coming to class and be excited to meet him and anybody that walks through our doors. So it's not just Jamie. Jamie's just the one that's on camera. That's everybody. We're doing something very, very personal and very vulnerable for people, and they trust us with that. And it's really an amazing, crazy thing that happens when it all comes together. Really looking back, it wasn't because I was afraid of failing, because I've done that a lot. It's really a very scary thing to think about what could happen if you succeed. You know, my parents have always supported me, and there's absolutely no way that I could have done any of it without Ben. And he'll say that that's not true, that I could do it all myself, but that's absolutely not true. You have to have someone in your corner that is always willing to tell you that you can keep going, right? I know you're tired, it's just a little bit longer. I
had a conversation with Jamie. We meet privately, and he shared with me something that was very touching. He basically just thanked me, and he just said, I don't know how I would do this without you. And that's community. That is us coming together face to face and making something possible for him. And in turn, it inspires me, and it inspires you, it inspires everybody.
One of the things I hope to use my position as a career firefighter to do is to encourage young girls, teenagers, or women in their 30s to say, you know what, I want to do that, and I can do that. And it's not about being a female in the fire service, it's about being a person who does what they want to do, male or female. You should never be held back from your dreams.